number of samples have the cat allergen. And this was the work of my staff, Halim Al-Sini and Anudar Qasim, who have been doing this. Now, there are threshold levels. And when you inhale, you might inhale a larger amount of these allergens, but you don't manifest any symptom. You will ask why. Because you are not genetically predisposed, and thereby you do not have a higher Ig level in your blood. Now, Ig level is the smallest component of the humoral immune system or the immunoglobulin family. 1/1,000,000th of an ounce, but they're very potent and lethal in terms of the response in allergic patients. So, if you do not have that, use Arispir. You do not have. But those who have, they get the specific antibodies, and these are the level where you have the different numbers that I'm going to show now. Now, these may not be very striking to those who do not have, but for physicians, for allergists and patients, this might have a striking and significant difference. So, let us have in the coastal regions, you have 50% detection of these ones. Though the numbers vary because we have public places and patient and all. Here you have 50% detected in coastal, but in the non-coastal region, you have 86% not detected. Means the more detection here clearly, and in the patient home and control homes, here you have more detected in patient home than in the control homes. This was the Derpy 1, the first group, which is very important now. The Feldy 1, Felis domesticus, which is the cat allergens, come from 1 to 7, and this is the number 1, which has come from salivary protein. You see here the red bar, 1 to 8 gram, which is 9% in the patient home, and you have 5% in the control home. So it's a significant variation, seeing the number 164 and 396. So if the number increases, it might go higher. And you see the coastal is 31% compared to non-coastal, so it's a very differences. And the Feldy 1 does not have a humidity impact rather than in comparison to the dust mite Derpy 1 and Derpy direct 1. The Blatella germanica and group 1 allergen, which is based on the different molecular weight, and Balaji 2, they have a less impact and less variation in both patients, but at some stage, not in generalized, in the individual's home, they vary. So these are the variations. Now the Rectus navigarius, which is the urinary protein from the rat, and maybe in the socioeconomic level, low level, you can find them a lot, but it has also shown some patient home higher level than slightly higher, and the coastal, non-coastal, also some variation in the coastal. But in general, it does not apply in except the low socioeconomic group. So, I'm not going to give all the data, you will be bored, so just to confirm that these findings confirm our previous finding on 600 patients from the region, whereby we identified that 30% to 60% individuals were sensitized with the indoor allergen, which you see the D. farinae, D. ternacinus, cat, which is Feldy 1, Balaji 1, Balaji 2, and Blatella orientalis, which is below T5. So between 30 to 60% sensitization.
2 minutes.
2 minutes, thank you. So sensitization, 30 to 60%, which is a very high number, and then we proved that the different parts of the country has them in a increasing threshold number in the country. We published 2 of the data with Balaji 1 and Balaji 2, and we published the Feldy 1 data recently out of the project. Dr. Shukri, the 3rd paper that we're working on, rather the 4th paper, because we have another, we'll show. Dr. Shukri has been here found that Blumia tropicalis P has in this forest plot showing a significant difference between the coastal, non-coastal for the three, which is Bologna and Dermatophagitis tonosinus and Dermatophagitis farinae, significant difference in the coastal than the non-coastal. Now, one or two last slide that there is one other component which is very important, which is Aspergillus. Aspergillus fumigatus, Aspergillus niger, Aspergillus flavus, Aspergillus whatever species. There are thousands of species. Thousands of species. Limited numbers are involved in ABPA and Aspergilloma and Aspergillosis. This is one that causes severe allergic reaction in addition to the infection and so on. We published this as a separate, and I'm not presenting data, and Abdurrahman al-Subi was involved in the identification of fungi. Now, finally, all these data that we have accumulated will become a treasures or the background information for the company that we have created last 4 or 5 years called Allergic Limited, which is under the King Faisal International Holding Company, and we have been licensed and all. And recently the technical committee cleared all our documents, and hopefully in any time we will get the license to market the product. So all this will come here now. That is the product. This will become the services here, services for Allergotech. So this is the services one. One last point to remind people that those who have allergies or asthma to indoor allergens, the cross-reactivity has been seen, and we published this data recently with the shrimp and so on. Just highlighted one, all these, and there are many more that they cross-react. They do cross-react, and so if you have a shrimp or any other fish allergy or food allergy, and you have so it becomes a very difficult job for a physician to diagnose as a polysensitive or a multisensitive diagnosis, and to on that recommend the therapy like immunotherapy and vaccine. And this is how, when they do the testing, this is now if you have immunotherapy, you have to be very careful because you have to find a real culprit, a real traveling as a poly, or maximum 3 to 5, not more than that, but some people have multiple sensitivity. So this will come like that. And so I conclude that the study confirms the house dust samples from patient and control homes, both coastal and non-coastal regions, were composed of multiple allergens sensitizer exceeding the threshold sensitization level. And that is very important. And now DERP1 and all these are a small thing. Now, this program is now expected to continue as community services program for revenue generation under King Faisal International Holding Company, and to benefit the patient, which should be the primary goal. Acknowledgement. NSTIP CACs for their financial support. Dr. Martin Chapman, who has been a consultant and advisor in the United States, and they're the only group in the world to produce antibodies and what, so they have been part of us, and we're glad for that. Dr. Sultan al-Sideri for being the PI, and Dr. Fatma al-Mahanna as the director and chairman of the cell biology that I belong to, for their facilitation, involvement, and support. My laboratory staff, particularly Halim al-Sini and Anud al-Qasim, and of course Mubarak for collecting sample, and Abdurrahman al-Subi for dust analysis, Dr. Muhammad Shukri recently for the statistical analysis, and all the regional collaborators in these 9-10 centers who provided their samples from their patients and facilitated our program. Thank you very much.